Have you ever wondered why some conversations leave you feeling totally energized while others make you wanna, I don't know, lock yourself in a closet for a 3-day silent retreat? Well, today we are diving into the surprising science behind your social energy. You know that feeling, right? That exhaustion after a party or a long meeting or even just a big family dinner. It's more than just being tired. It's what some people call a social hangover. And yeah, it is a very real thing, and we're gonna break it all down. So let's start with this idea of the social battery. It's a great metaphor. Think of it just like your phone's battery. Every single interaction, even the really good ones, uses up a little bit of that charge. This isn't about whether or not you like people. It's just about how much juice you have in the tank to connect with them. And when that battery hits zero, oh man, you are not just tired, you are running on fumes. It can feel like you've just slammed into a wall, and honestly, even the thought of one more conversation feels completely overwhelming. You know, the signs of this kind of social burnout are surprisingly physical. This is not just in your head. You might feel super irritable or totally detached from everyone. You might find you can't focus, or you could even get these intense headaches. This isn't just a bad mood. It's literally your body sending you a signal that it is overstimulated and it needs a break, like right now. So, why does this even happen? Well, here's the big reveal. It's not a personal failing at all. It's biology. Let's get into how your brain is actually wired for all this stuff. Okay, this part is so important. For years, people who needed alone time were basically told they were antisocial or just weird. But science tells a completely different story. It all comes down to your brain's default response to everything happening around you. And this right here, this shows the core difference perfectly. For extroverts, all that external stimulation, parties, big group projects, that stuff actually charges their battery. But for introverts, that exact same situation drains it. Introverts recharge their batteries with internal stimulation, things like quiet reflection and just being alone. Now for the cool part, the actual brain chemistry behind it. Extroverts get a big kick out of dopamine. That's the reward-seeking chemical. It's like caffeine. It just pushes them to go out and get more interaction. Introverts, on the other hand, get their reward from something called acetylcholine, which gets triggered by turning inward. It's calming, more like an herbal tea. And look, one isn't better than the other. They're just totally different fuel sources. And this wiring, it goes beyond just our brains. It's our entire nervous system. Extroverts tend to lean on the energy-spending sympathetic system. That's the fight or flight, the go, go, go system. Meanwhile, introverts are more linked to the energy-conserving parasympathetic system. That's our rest and digest mode. It's exactly why an introvert's gut instinct is to conserve energy, not to spend it all at once. Okay, so with all that science rattling around in your head, let's make this a little more personal. How can you figure out where you might fall on this spectrum? Let's find out. But first, we have to clear up something really important. Introversion is not the same thing as shyness. Shyness is the fear of what other people think of you. An introvert might skip a party simply because they'd rather have a quiet night in. A shy person might skip that same party because they're afraid of being judged. It's a huge distinction. One is about your wiring, the other is about fear. All right, quick self-check. Just think about it for a second. Does a really deep one-on-one conversation leave you feeling more energized than trying to juggle small talk in a big group? Okay, question number 2. When somebody asks you a really complex question, is your first instinct to kind of process it all in your head before you answer, instead of just thinking out loud? And finally, here's the big one. after a really busy day or a social event, is being alone not just like a nice to have, but an absolute necessity for you to feel like yourself again? If you found yourself nodding yes to those questions, well, you are in very, very good company. In fact, you're in the majority. According to decades of research, introverts actually make up just over half the population. So if you've ever felt like the odd one out, the reality is you're part of a very, very quiet majority. All right, so now you understand the wiring, you have a better idea of where you stand. The next logical step is figuring out how to actually manage that energy. So let's build your toolkit. You can totally avoid running on empty with a pretty simple 3-step strategy. First, get to know your triggers. What drains you the most? Is it big crowds? Is it small talk? Maybe it's specific people? Second, you gotta set boundaries. This isn't about being rude, it's about energy management. And third, schedule alone time like it's a critical meeting, because for your battery, it really, really is. And hey, recharging doesn't have to mean just sitting alone in a dark room. It means actively finding things that lower that stimulation and let your rest and digest system take over. This could be anything: a walk in nature, journaling, taking a break from social media, or just putting on your favorite album. The goal here is intentional restoration. And now, for the final, and I think the most powerful piece of this whole puzzle. It's time to reframe this entire idea. This isn't about managing some kind of weakness. It's about unlocking a strength. Just think about that question for a second. What if the things you've always seen as your struggles are actually just two sides of the same coin? For instance, that highly reactive nervous system that can sometimes lead to anxiety, that is the very same system that fuels deep empathy. See, your wiring isn't a bug. It's a feature, it's a superpower, and it's one that's desperately needed in our loud, fast-paced world. I mean, let's be real. The world has more than enough noise. What it needs is more depth, more focus, more genuine connection. Your tendency to think before you speak, that makes you the person who offers the breakthrough idea in a chaotic meeting. Your ability to really listen, that makes you an incredible friend and an effective leader. And that preference for one-on-one connection, that's what builds the deep, loyal relationships that actually last a lifetime. These aren't just personality quirks, they are invaluable assets. So we'll end on this thought. You are not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You are just wired differently. The only question left is, now that you understand the science behind your power, how are you going to use it?